Okay, hello guys. So this is our first topic for virology finals. Okay, so we have hepatitis viruses. We will cover A, B, C, D, and E. Okay. So objectives, no? At the end of this discussion, you're expected to be able to distinguish the various classification of hepatitis, such as hepatitis A, B, C, and D and D, to differentiate viruses, no? In terms of their structure, pathogenesis, clinical manifestations, and complications. And of course, for you to be able to be familiar with the laboratory diagnostic methods, types of tests, if there are any identification methods, of course, treatment, prevention, and control. Okay, so let's start with hepatitis A virus. Okay, so this particular virus belongs to the genus Hepatovirus under the family Picornaviridae. Ayan, so Picorna virus ang ating hepatitis A. Okay, so structure-wise, and this is how it would look like, no? Around 27 to 32 nanometer, spherical particle with cubic symmetry. Okay. Linear single-stranded RNA ang kanyang genome. So its weight is around 7.5 kilobase pairs. Okay. So the virus would contain the capsid and the viral protein genome. Yan. So, ano ba ang hepatitis A? Okay, so of course, hepatitis A infection, it's a viral infection of the liver, usually brought about by ingesting something that is contaminated with fecal material. Of course, humans are the natural host, for this viral organism or viral infectious agents. Okay, so people usually at increased risk of hepatitis A infection would be those that usually travel, internationally. Of course, men. MSM, men who have sex with men, users of injection and non-injection drugs, or those with occupational risk for exposure to hepatitis A, people who anticipate close contact with an international adoptee, usually yan, pwedeng, there were cases uh, na transfer, people in developed countries adopting children galing sa underdeveloped countries, nahawa sila ng HEPA-A nung bata na inadopt nila. Okay? And of course, yung mga homeless people natin. Okay? So, they are those that are at increased risk of acquiring hepatitis A. Okay? So, people at increased risk of severe disease from HEPA-A infection are those with chronic liver diseases. So meron na siyang underlying infections, sa liver. Tapos sinakyan pa ng HEPA-A, ayan. So they may acquire severe diseases, from hepatitis A infection, including those na may HEPA-B or may HEPA-C or those with HIV. Okay? So the infection may last several weeks. Okay? And for some, it may be debilitating, okay? Bedridden ng iba, but others appear to be completely healthy. Okay? So magiging giveaway lang talaga yung ibang signs and symptoms niya. Okay? I've seen several people na may HEPA-A, pero naglalakad naman. Yun lang. Huwag mo lang tignan masyado sa mata kasi naninilaw ang mata. Okay? So incubation period is actually 10 to 50 days. Okay? Mag-average around 25 to 30 days. Okay? So transmission is usually fecal oral, or close person-to-person contact. So you can easily prevent acquiring the infection with careful hand washing, jud kaayo, no? So hand hygiene. Okay. Also keep toilets and bathroom clean. Okay. Avoid infected water sources. Okay. So the usual signs and symptoms, nagsusuka, okay, nahihilo, loss of appetite, and ang pinaka-importante talaga is yung yellow skin or yellow ang kanyang sclera. Okay? For some, there could be fever, okay? There may be stomach pain, sometimes their urine are dark, and then ang stool nila light colored. Okay? Or sa iba naman may joint pain, others may feel tired, etc. Okay? Ayan. So masyadong close, no? Hindi pwede yung sharing of utensils kasi pwede nating matransfer yung ating mga tawag nito, infectious agents, no, na nagtago-tago sa tuang body. For children, children usually appear asymptomatic, okay? Ang adults madalas ang symptomatic, okay? So if symptoms develop, usually they appear 2 to 7 weeks after infection, okay? After acquiring the infection. Okay, so it may last less than 2 months, pero for some, pwedeng umabot hanggang 6 months. So depende talaga. No? All depends on the stability of the immune system. Okay, so laboratory diagnosis, you can perform serologic assays. No? We can do PCR, you can do ELISA. You can also do no, or diagnose or identify HAV in stool. They are usually detected first no, in the course of the disease. Tapos 2 weeks after the onset of jaundice up to 2 weeks after. So 2 weeks before the onset of jaundice and 2 weeks after the onset of jaundice, pwede nating ma-discover si HAV sa stool. Okay? Sa pajod. Si anti-HAV IgM, okay, usually nagpipik ito 2 weeks after elevation of liver enzymes. Okay? What else? CHAV IgG can be detected. Anti-HAV IgG are usually detected after the onset of disease, and it could persist, for a long time. Kasi IgG na siya, diba? Okay, so those are the things that we can identify to help diagnose HAV. Okay, so we can use PCR, ELISA, and then detect HAV or anti-HAV IgM and anti-HAV IgG. Okay, so treatment, prevention, and control, there's no specific treatment. Usually, sasabihan ka lang rest, no? Adequate nutrition, fluids, of course. Okay, the virus itself is actually self-limiting. Okay, it does not usually progress to chronic liver disease unless, of course, meron tayong underlying condition sa liver natin. Okay? Otherwise, it's self-limiting, so it goes away. Okay. So we can inactivate the virus by heating food above 85 degrees Celsius for at least a minute, at least, ha? Longer would be better. Pero syempre, of course, titingnan natin yung quality ng food din. Okay, may mga food na hindi pwedeng initin ng matagal. So, depende. But importante, food has been heated prior to eating them, especially pag hindi na yun freshly cooked. Okay? Also, disinfect surfaces, okay, with sodium hypochlorite or bleach, no? At least in 1:100 dilution. And we could actually destroy the virus by autoclaving, of course, no? Boiling in water at least 5 minutes, and then dry heat, no? Yung dry air oven, you can use that 180 degrees Celsius for 1 hour, or you can go 160 degrees Celsius for 2 hours. Okay. And then of course you can use ultraviolet radiation, 1 minute at least, and then treatment with formalin. Okay, so when you use formalin, yung mga 1:4,000 na dilution, 3 days at 37 degrees Celsius, or you can go use chlorine. Okay, so yung 10 to 15 parts per million for 30 minutes exposure. Okay, again, the best prevention would be vaccination, of course, okay, for HEPA A. So yung mga high-risk individuals, such as those that usually travel internationally, frontliners, staff in childcare, very important yan, no? Yung staff in childcare, nagpapakain sa mga baby, yan. Food handlers, military personnel, we can also throw in homosexual men or those MSM kung tawagin, okay, and also yung mga institutionalized patients. So sila yung pwedeng bigyan ng vaccines for HEPA A, okay? And then of course for control, good hand hygiene and syempre good sanitation practices, okay? Then we have hepatitis B virus. Ayan. So si Hepa B, it's an envelope double-stranded DNA, icosahedral ang kanyang capsid, and it is known to have three forms. Okay? So it has the spherical form, okay, eto. So around 22 nanometers. It has the tubular form or yung filamentous form kung tawagin. So it measures around 22 to 200 nanometers. And of course, the complete virion, which is known as Dane particle. It measures around 42 nanometers. Okay, so si Dane particle ang complete, no, yung may genome sa loob. Okay, so meron siyang genetic material. Yan, yung dalawa puro mga protein lang, proteinaceous particles lang sila. Okay. Classification, they belong to genus Orthohepadnavirus, family Hepadnaviridae. Okay, so meron silang surface antigen, okay, hepatitis B core antigen, and of course the genome. Okay, so three structures, spherical, tubular, filamentous, and of course ang complete virion or complete viral particle. That's the Dane particle. Okay, so what are the clinical manifestations? Okay, so syempre, humans ang ating host, no? For HBV, okay? People who are potentially at risk of the virus includes yung ating mga infants born to people with hepatitis B infection. So kung yung nanay may Hepa B, pwede magkaroon si baby, no? Yun yung more common. Ewan lang kung may mga cases ba na kung yung tatay ay may Hepa B, pwede rin si baby mahawa, no? Tapos saka pa ipapanganak. Pero mostly, napaka-rare naman yata. No? Pero mostly pag nanay meron, yung baby malamang mahawa. Okay? Or sex partners of people with HBV. Yan, no? Yung ating mga MSM, no? Men who have sexual intercourse with men, people who inject drugs, okay? Yung mga healthcare and healthcare workers, okay? Patients na laging parang expose sa constantly sa needles, no? Like yung mga nagpapa-dialysis, di ba? Very constant. Some people undergo dialysis 3 times a week. Okay, so they are very prone to acquiring the infection. Okay, so your hepatitis B virus can actually survive outside the body. Okay, they can remain infectious for at least 7 days outside the body. Okay, most people with chronic hepatitis infection are asymptomatic. Okay, o hindi natin nalalaman. Okay, madalas walang evidence of liver injury or disease. Okay, so the infection may actually occur an average of 90 days, but it could persist for weeks, no, or months talaga. Okay? For some, it could even be longer. Okay? So, average lang yung 90 days. Okay? So, pwede namang umabot ng 150 after exposure, yung active infection niya. Okay? So, transmission, sexual intercourse, again, those who share needles, or syringes or drug preparation, no? Ano pa? Yung mga through birth, of course, no? Sharing items, and contact with contaminated blood, o yung may mga yung sugat o lesion, yan pwede. Okay? So, ayan, kompleto lahat. No? Ano ba yung mga sintomas? May jaundice, may fever, o yung urine niya, dark urine, pale poop, pareha lang, no? Basta liver ang problema. Nagsusuka, may masakit. Ang masakit na part, usually yung sa may right portion, right? Upper right portion. Parang kalahati nasa may lower rib. Okay? And then yung kalahati nandun sa free end ng rib cage natin. Okay? What else? You lose appetite, you feel weak or fatigue, parang duwa pa lang ka ang imong gisaka, kapoy na ka. Okay? O lagi masakit ang ulo. For some people, I've seen this. For some people, they have hives, no? Kanang maras lagi kagid. Okay? Polka dati, iba may burot-burot, no? Others even have joint pain. So iba-iba yung symptoms. Pero ang very common is etong may fever, jaundice, appetite, no, loss of appetite, nausea, yan, vomiting, very common. Okay? Okay, nakalimutan kong tanggalin. Anyway, so this is classif diagnosis and identification. So, of course, hepatitis testing would demonstrate the presence of antigens and antibodies. Okay, so antigens include the surface antigen or HBsAg, the core antigen or HBcAg, hepatitis envelope antigen, okay, or the HBeAg. Okay. Antibodies, of course, we have the anti-HBs, anti-HBc, and anti-HBe. Okay, so HBsAg, okay, the surface antigen is the first to appear sa serum. So once there's infection, the first thing that we could assess or determine from the patient sample is usually the surface antigen. The core antigen, we can't detect it sa serum, but it is detectable in liver biopsy. So you can perform immunohistochemistry, to determine them. But again, we cannot detect this in the serum because yung core antigen is found in the hepatocytes. Dito na sila, no? Yung core antigen ng HBV, dito gid na sa liver cells. Okay? If they are found present, okay, when after doing liver biopsy, it means that the virus is actively multiplying in the liver. Yan. And then si HBe antigen, ayan. So starring dito masyado yung aking notes. Okay, so si HBe antigen, E is envelope, of course. It can be detected in the serum. Okay, so its presence would indicate infectivity, okay, of the individual. So makatakod siya. Okay? Kung meron siyang ka-sexual partner, ayan, mahahawa pag na-detect itong HBe antigen or kung naay makagunit sa iyang no, contaminated blood, matakdan jud. Okay? If na-detect siya sa serum, ibig sabihin nun, very infectious ang pasyente natin. Okay? So this antigens and antibodies are helpful in determining whether the patient has acute or chronic HBV infection or whether or not immune na siya, no? As a result of prior infection or vaccination or susceptible ba yung pasyente natin. Okay? So ayan, tignan natin tong drawing na to. Okay? So if the patient is positive for HBsAg, no, nag-positive siya sa HBsAg, ibig sabihin nun, meron siyang infection. Now, as to what type of infection, okay, we can perform other assays to help us determine. So if for example, nag-positive siya sa IgM anti-HBC, okay, o IgM anti-HBC positive, tapos nag-positive din siya sa total, no, itong anti-HBC neto sa baba, that means or refers to the total, okay? IgM plus IgG, okay? So itong sa taas, IgM only, okay? So kung nag-positive siya sa IgM only, okay? Tapos nag-positive rin siya sa total anti-HBC, ibig sabihin nun, meron talaga siyang infection. Hindi lang primary, no? Or hindi lang parang medyo tumagal na ng mga ilang weeks siguro yung kanyang infection kasi nagka-anti-HBC na siya, no? Positive na rin siya sa IgG. Okay, so the body was able to produce IgM for 6 months, and dahil 6 months na yun, malamang may IgG na yan kasi nag-positive na nga siya dito. Okay? Or meron siyang negative na siya for IgM, anti-HBC, pero positive pa rin siya sa total. Okay? Sorry. Okay? Positive pa rin siya sa total. Ibig sabihin nun, na-detect yung IgG niya. Okay? So, dahil wala siyang IgM, pero nag-positive sa total, ibig sabihin nun ang na-detect ay yung kanyang IgG. Okay? So, this would mean na meron na siyang chronic infection. Okay? So, chronic infection. Again, pag acute ang infection, nagpa-positive yun sa IgM and sa kanyang total HBC, anti-HBC. Pag chronic na ang infection, di na ma-detect ang IgM. Kaya di naman mag-produce og IgM. Kaya dugay-dugay na ni. Okay? So, pag wala na siyang IgM, pero nag-positive sa total anti-HBC, that would mean chronic na yung infection ng pasyente natin. Okay? Now, what about nag-negative sa HBsAg? It would mean wala siyang infection. Pero may iba't ibang klase yun, no? So we do anti-HBs. Okay? So kung nag-positive siya sa ating anti-HBs at nag-positive rin siya sa anti-HBC, immune ang ating pasyente dahil nagkaroon na siya ng infection before. So nakadevelop na siya ng antibodies, di ba? Yung kanyang immunity is because na-expose siya. How do we know that? Kasi meron siyang anti-HBC. May core antigen. Ibig sabihin nun, nakapasok yung organism. Organism naman, yung virus sa katawan ng pasyente natin. Okay? Now, what if nag-positive siya sa anti-HBs, pero nag-negative siya sa anti-HBC? Ibig sabihin nun, may antibody siya at immune siya, pero yung kanyang immunity is acquired because of vaccination. Nakita yung difference. Okay? So, pareho silang immune, pero yung isa, nag-positive sa anti-HBC, yung isa, negative sa anti-HBC. So, pag positive anti-HBs, positive anti-HBC, that's immunity because of natural circumstances, no? Natural yung immunity niya. Pag nag-positive naman sa anti-HBs and negative sa anti-HBC, ibig sabihin nun, immune nga siya, may antibodies. Pero yung kanyang immunity is acquired because of vaccination. Ngayon, negative sa anti-HBs, negative pa jud sa anti-HBC, wa siya antibodies. Pasabot ato, wa jud siya infection, kay wa pa jud siya na exposed. Therefore, the patient is highly susceptible. Okay. So ito, bigyan natin ng mga iba't ibang scenario. Okay, yung unang box, tignan natin. Nag-positive siya sa HBsAg, pero negative siya sa HBeAg, negative din sa anti-HBs at anti-HBe. Sama na siya. Pag ganito lang ang kanyang resulta, usually that would mean acute ang infection. But what if nag-positive siya sa HBsAg, nag-positive po siya sa HBeAg. Di ba kasi nadedetect natin si HBe. So, nag-positive siya sa duha ka antigen. Pero negative siya sa anti-HBs o anti-HBe. Still, meron siyang acute infection. Pero dahil na-detect si HBeAg, unsa gani pasabot ani, pag ma-detect ni the patient is highly infective. Okay, so this scenario would mean the patient is having acute infection with high infectivity. Makatakod kaayo. Okay, now what about this one, the third box? So HBsAg positive, HBeAg negative, anti-HBs negative, but anti-HBe positive. Yan. Ibig sabihin nun, dahil nakapag-develop na siya ng anti-HBe, the body's slowly trying to resolve the problem. Okay? And then very low na lang ang infectivity nito kasi meron na siyang anti-HBe. Okay? Kaya lang nandun pa si HBsAg. So naapagamay-gamay na lang. Okay? So low infectivity. That would mean it's a good prognosis, no? So paayon na ang pasyente. Now what about this one? Negative na siya for the antigens, no? Negative sa HBsAg, negative na sa HBeAg, pero positive na siya sa anti-HBs, positive po siya sa anti-HBe. So negative sa mga antigen, positive sa mga antibodies. Ang sabot, dahil may mga antibodies na siya at wala na yung antigen na clear na, ibig sabihin nun, naka-recover na si patient. Okay? So, yun yung iba't ibang scenario na pwede nating ma-encounter sa laboratory when we do serological testing for hepatitis B virus. Okay? So treatment, there's no treatment, no? There's no medication rather. Usually, ang minimedicate natin yung mga symptoms, no? Masakit ang tiyan, nahihilo, ganyan. So mostly rest, adequate nutrition, fluids, the usual. Okay? Yung mga may severe symptoms, they should be hospitalized. Okay? And then yung kanyang mga medications, if there are any, like pang ano sa mga symptoms niya, that should be taken, no, under the guidance of the attending physician. Dili magpataka kay, no, ang liver ba yang tig-screen ng ating mga tinitake, no? So kung pataka lang tayo inom og tambal agol. Okay, so mosamot ang ato ang condition. Okay? So prevention, get vaccinated. Okay? Kasi meron naman tayong vaccines, right? 3 doses. Magkano nga yun? So, kayo mag-interns naman dyan daw mo puhon. So, kinahanglan na, anataan na, no? And then have yourselves tested for titer after your vaccines, no? So, in the appropriate time para ma-determine kung effective ba gud ang pagpabakuna ninyo kung naka-develop mo antibodies. Okay? And then of course, control is very important. Proper hand washing, no? Unsa pa, never share your needles, your syringes, yung mga bottled waters, no, yung mga ano ninyo, mga lalagyan ng tubig, no, mga aqua flask. Sa mga datuon, mga hydro flask, yan. Tapos what else? Mga kutsara tinidor, sometimes, pero mostly for HAV yan. Okay? Ang importante, safe sexual contact, pero at your age, you're still young, ayaw sa, no? So ano pa, be careful when we do your blood collection, avoid needle stick incidences, kasi yun yung ating, di ba, occupational hazard natin. What else? Yun, no? Safe sex, mas maayog wala kung dili pagani ninyo. Eh? And then avoid, no, yung misuse of drugs, etc. Okay? So, vaccines, kasi meron naman yan. Okay. Then move on to hepatitis C virus. Okay, so si hepatitis C belongs to genus Hepacivirus. Family Flaviviridae naman. Ayan. So Flavivirus ito kakosa ni dengue virus. Ayan. So si Hepa C. Okay? And the structure is single-stranded RNA, okay? Surrounded by icosahedral capsid with envelope. Okay? So si Hepabira in tawon ang DNA. The rest, RNA. Huwag kalimutan. So what are the facts about hepatitis C? Okay, so of course, your hepatitis C virus is a non-cytopathic virus. Okay, it usually enters the liver cell and undergoes replication simultaneously, causing cell necrosis by several mechanisms like immune-mediated cytolysis. And then there are other phenomena caused by the virus, such as hepatic steatosis, oxidative stress, even insulin resistance at times. Okay, of course, humans ang host ng virus na to, no? So people that are usually at risk for hepatitis C virus infection would include people with HIV, okay, those who use injection drugs, okay, people with selected medical conditions like those receiving hemodialysis, okay, people who donated or received blood and organ transplants before 1992 kasi hindi pa na-organize yung ating blood bank no as early as that. No? During that time medyo marami pang kulang. Tapos maraming mga test pa na hindi na-perform at that time. Okay? What else? Healthcare, emergency medical and public safety personnel. Tayo, no, medtechs, dahil tayo ay exposed parati sa mga needle stick, injuries, o masugatan ng sharps, mucosal exposures to samples of people with HCV positive with HCV, yan. Or children who are born to mothers with HCV infections. Ayun. Okay? So, sexual contact din, syempre. Okay? Oh, what else? So, transfusion of unscreened blood, matusok ng mga maduming needles, sexual transmission. Okay? So, hepatitis C can cause hepatitis C infection, which is a type of liver disease that is transmitted through this, modes of transmission. Okay? The infection may last up to 6 months, but for most people, they can recover completely. Okay? Yung palang mag-share din ng toothbrush, pwede yan, di ba? O yung mag-share ng shave. O di ba pwedeng makasugat yun, tapos nasugat siya, tapos ginamit mo, nasugat ka rin. Ayan. Okay? O yung mga nail cutter. Kung sino-sino gumagamit sa bahay natin. Minsan pag nasobraan ka, sa pag-nail cutter, masamad. So contaminate yung ating nail cutter or nail clippers. So kailangan mag-ingat. Or nagpa-blood transfuse ka or nagpa-organ transplant. Ayan. Okay? So preventive measures, it's very important na kung kintahi, you'll have to undergo blood transfusion or organ transplantation. Proper checking of the blood and the tissue to be transfused and transplanted sa inyo should be done. So, lahat ng mga proper assays, testing, dapat gawin muna bago ma-transfuse ang dugo or ma-transplant yung organ. Okay? So, clinical manifestations, people with newly acquired HCV infections usually are asymptomatic or mild lang yung symptoms nila. Okay, so average period from exposure to symptom onset is around 2 to 12 weeks. No, they could range from 2 to 26 weeks actually. So most people with chronic HCV infections are asymptomatic or they have non-specific symptoms, no? Like chronic fatigue, depression. So ganun lang. Okay? Not really sumasakit yung tiyan. No? Usually non-specific ang symptoms niya. Headache, ganun. So some people with chronic HCV infection develop medical conditions due to hepatitis C, no? That are not limited to uh, just liver infections, no? So these are those na may mga diabetes, no? May mga glomerulonephritis. Okay. Ayan. So, ito yung pwedeng maging complication, no, ng chronic HCV. Okay? So, uh, some may develop porphyria cutanea tarda, you know, and some others, unfortunately, may suffer from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma as a result of chronic HCV. Di ba weird? Mm. Meron pang essential mixed cryoglobulinemia. Okay, so these are complications brought about by chronic HCV to some really susceptible individuals. Okay, so diabetes mellitus, glomerulonephritis, porphyria cutanea tarda, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, essential mixed cryoglobulinemia. Okay. So signs and symptoms, ano ba yung nafe-feel ng mga pasyente may HCV? Loss of appetite, ayan, no, nausea, vomiting, joint pain, jaundice, fatigue, fever. Yun yung dark urine, very common in hepatitis infection. No? So dark ang urine, pero yung stool mo, luspad, okay, clay colored. And then of course, abdominal pain. Okay? So laboratory diagnosis, what can we do? Okay, so screening test, according to the Department of Health in New York, no nabasa ko. So they recommended detection, no, screening tests for antibodies to HCV using the enzyme immunoassays, no, na screening test. So, pag lahat ng patients suspected of having HCV infection, they should be tested for uh, antibodies, no, to HCV or anti-HCV using enzyme immunoassays. Now, in low-risk patients with positive EIA, nag-positive siya, they have to undergo confirmatory testing using RIBA, okay, or the recombinant immunoblot assays. Okay? So sa mga pasyente namang nag-positive sila sa EIA at nag-positive rin sa RIBA, edi mag PCR na talaga. Okay? Para ma-detect yung HCV RNA. Okay? So EIA muna and then pa-confirm with RIBA. So pag nag-positive talaga sila sa dalawa, PCR na tayo. Okay? Para ma-determine ang HCV RNA. Okay? So um, also, pwede rin tignan yung kanyang blood chem, no? Yung kanyang liver profile, tanawon po. Okay? So usually, may increased, no, or elevated ALT. Okay? Tapos nag-positive siya sa EIA, ay dapat uh, test for HCV RNA. Okay? Either RIBA or PCR. Of course, we can do HCV genotyping and serological testing. Okay? Or pwede rin naman magpa-liver biopsy. Okay? So liver biopsy is done to determine the degree of liver damage brought about by chronic HCV infection. Okay? Kasi remember, aside sa, ang pinaka-target talaga no, is the liver, and chronic forms, no, of the infection will damage the liver talaga. Okay, for some people, ayun na nga, nakakapag-develop sila ng conditions na unaffected naman si liver, like yung diabetes mellitus, so yung na-mention natin kanina. Pero again, there are those that would suffer from severe liver damage, no, as a result of HCV. Okay, so treatment, uh, PE gelation. So PE gelation means yung interferon niya, ayan, pegylated interferon means na-mix or na-combine yung polyethylene glycol, no, PEG, no? Polyethylene glycol, yung interferon niya. The polyethylene glycol would serve as parang a vesicle or a container for the interferon. Okay? So that's what it means by that term. Okay? So this can be used combined with ribavirin. So ribavirin is an antiviral drug. Okay? So pwede rin namang simply mag-antiviral therapy yung pasyente. Puwedeng bigyan ng tenofovir or boceprevir or sofosbuvir, ayan 'no, or puwede namang orthotopic liver transplantation, okey. So yung mga pasyenteng may problema na sa liver, naku, make sure na you're vaccinated against Hepa A and Hepa B, avoid alcohol, bilin si avoid, okay. What else? Bago inom ng gamot 'no, dahil alam niyo ng may problema sa atay, ay dili magpataka og inom og tambal or kanang mga 'di ba tuo-tuo, pareha ng binukbok tungog, ay joke. Or ano ba yung mga narinig, Yaki capsule, 'di ba sa radyo naririnig natin may mga ganyan, yung mga supplements na ganyan. Um, a lot of doctors would say they're not really helping kasi madalas yung mga ganyan, ah, bihira lang na napapa-check yung toxicity level ng mga herbal medicines na binebenta. Okay, so basin mo samot imuhang problem sa liver kay si liver lamang gihapoy mo trabaho sa imong i-take na mga supplements na wa didto wa dire. Okay? And then avoid yung mga over-the-counter medications, no? Especially yung mga NSAIDs, no? Yung mga ano ba, Medicol, ganyan. Ibuprofen most especially. Okay, so kalaban yan 'pag may problema ka sa atay, naku, wag kang pataka sa ibuprofen, no? Yung mga bigatin ng mga ano na para sa sakit ng ulo, mga pain relievers, ganyan, no? So dili puwede. So again, have yourselves tested for HIV also. Okay? Kasi pag musakay ang HIV, agoy luoy kayo. Okay? So, uh, safe and appropriate use of healthcare injections should be practiced. Safe handling and disposal of sharps, especially sa ating mga medtech, mag-ingat ng mabuti. Okay? Provision of comprehensive harm reduction services to people who inject drugs. So sa atin siya sa mga nurses and sa mga doktor na rin. So those working in the hospitals, no, most especially, dapat ang facility itself should protect, no, the workers inside it. So dapat may mga provisions na ganyan. Okay? Testing of donated blood for HBV and HCV as well as HIV and syphilis. No? So ginagawa rin naman talaga ito. Okay? And then training of health personnel, prevention of exposure to blood during sexual contact. No? Note that walang effective vaccine against hepatitis C. So prevention would depend on reducing the risk of exposure to the virus, especially sa ating mga meddecs, mga nurses, and doctors. No? Kasi tayo yung mga part ng high-risk populations for hepatitis B, hepatitis C, no? Even hepatitis D. Okay, so kailangan talaga natin mag-ingat. Okay? And then we have hepatitis D. So your hepatitis D virus, no, is classified under genus Delta virus, okay, under the family Colmioviridae. Okay, so Hepa D, no, D there refers to Delta. Okay, smallest virus known to infect animals daw ito. Okay, so it's not really a full virus. It's considered as a satellite virus, a subviral agent. Okay, why? Because of its special structure. No, so it's small, spherical, single-stranded. Okay? It's envelope, no? Pero ang envelope niya is actually the Hepa B surface antigen. Okay? So negative sense ang kanyang RNA molecule. Ayan, no? This is hepatitis B virus. And this is your Delta virus. Look, alaman ng capsid. Okay? Naghiram pa ng damit. Kay hepatitis B pa yung damit niya. Okay? So it's an atypical virus. Okay? So it has the genetic material wrapped in HBsAg. No, nahuram siya sa nina. So usually, present yan pag nandun si hepatitis B. Okay? Pwedeng habang may Hepa B ka, may Hepa D ka rin. Pwedeng after mong nagka-Hepa B, sinundan ka ng Hepa D. Ayan. No? O, dili pwedeng nagka-Hepa D ka, ngawa kay Hepa B. So, kasi nga, nangihiram lang to siya ng damit ni Hepa B. So, dapat nandun or nauna si hepatitis B. Okay? So, ah, so meron tayong dalawang klaseng ano no, we have two types of hepatitis D antigens. We have the small delta antigen. Ang small delta antigen is usually produced in the early stages of the infection, whereas ang large delta antigen is produced in the later stages of infection. Okay? So again, tandaan, si Hepa D is entirely dependent kay Hepa B kasi nga nangihiram siya ng damit ni hepatitis B, no, antigen. Okay, so note that your Hepa D only replicates in hepatocytes. Okay, so high risk of infection would include people with chronic HBV, okay, yung mga injection drug users, mga commercial sex workers, ang mga MSMs or men having sex with men. Yan. The usual transmission routes would be yung transmission at birth from mother to child, no? That's one. Transmission through infected blood, no? Transmission through infected blood like blood transfusion or by sharing yung mga acupuncture needles, mga syringes, no? Mga sharp edge object like during tattooing, yan. Nakakatakot kaya magpa-tattoo, 'di ba? Tsaka yung mga piercing na ganyan. Pwede yung mga instruments kasi hindi na sterilize properly. Okay, so if you plan to do those things, no, magpa-pierce, magpa-tattoo, pumunta dun sa pwede mong maihabla. Okay, so wag dun sa ano, sa fly by night na mga tattoo salons, no? Mahirap yun. So, doon ka sa may mga certificates, tsaka nakikitang talagang na-sterilize yung mga things nila. Pero mas maayo dyan, ug di na lang dyan ka magpa-tattoo. Okay? Okay, what else? Yung use of personal toothbrushes. Kasi pwede, di ba, during pag-toothbrush, dumudugo yung mga gums natin, tapos pinahiram mo dun sa iba, okay? O yung mga shave, ganyan, no? And of course, sexual transmission. Okay, so unprotected sexual intercourse. Ayan. So yun yung mga usual modes of transmission. Okay, so hepatitis D infection, it's a type of viral disease sa liver. It can run either as an acute or chronic course. Okay? So what's important is that you can only become infected with hepatitis D again, no, if hepatitis B virus is present. Okay? So there's a distinction naman. May two possibilities kasi. Once you become infected with Hepa D, it would mean na pwedeng may co-infection, no? Ibig sabihin nun, sabay nandun si Hepa B at si Hepa D. Or it could be a super infection. Meaning nun, nauna si hepatitis B, tapos saka ka nagkaroon ng hepatitis D infection. So, una naman si boy, tapos sumunod si dog. Okay? Ganon. So, occurs when chronic B virus carriers are infected with hepatitis D. Okay? Severe acute hepatitis and chronic hepatitis D infection is observed in 80% of the cases. Imaginein mo, yung dalawa nagsabay. Okay? So, signs and symptoms natin, fatigue, lethargy, kapuyan ang pasyente, no? Luya, lipong-lipong, walay gana mukaon. So, symptoms can last for 3 to 7 days and then makita na nato itong pag-yelo-yelo sa iyang skin or sa iyahang mata. Okay? So, pag labas ng jaundice niya, magpadayon ng gihapon iyahang fatigue, no? Luya ang pasyente, nauseous, lipong-lipong, no? Abnormal ang kanyang serum bilirubin levels. And of course, yung common na na-observe natin sa mga hepatitis, yung clay-colored ang stool, no? Luspad ang stool, pero dark ang iyahang urine. Okay? So, laboratory tests natin for hepatitis, D infection, D daw. Bakit S yan? Okay. So, kasi magkatabi sila. Sorry po. Okay, so hepatitis D yan. Okay, so again, you can do EIA, you can do radioimmunoassay, and of course, for confirmatory testing and continuous monitoring, we do RT-PCR. No? So effective yan. So si enzyme immunoassay is a really good screening test for hepatitis viruses. Okay, so treatment, there's no treatment for HDV. You can be given, no, PE-gelated interferon alpha. Uh, what else? Of course, dapat no, iwasan, no, yung mga gawain, no, that would put you at the risk of acquiring the infection. No, note that no, may dalawa tayong possible cases for Hep D. It could be a co-infection, no? So si HBV muna, tapos sabay sila rather pag co-infection sabay sila. So importante rin na ma-achieve mo yung protection against HBV, okay? Kasi pag protected ka from HBV, protected ka na rin from HDV. Okay? And then pag may super infection, proper health education talaga. Okay? So avoid mga risky behaviors. Okay? So prevention, bakuna. Okay? Pabakuna tayo for HBV, okay, para dili ta sakyan og HDV. Okay? So control again, avoid risky behaviors. Okay. And then last, for this topic, we have hepatitis E virus. Okay. So enteric hepatitis, agent of enteric hepatitis. This is the most common cause of acute hepatitis, pero self-limiting naman. Okay. So classification, the hepatitis E virus belongs to genus Hepavirus, species Hepaviridae. The structure is small, non-enveloped virus with a single-stranded RNA genome, and it has 4 known genotypes. Later titignan natin. Ayan, no? So, family Hepaviridae. Yan. So, characteristics, non-enveloped, icosahedral capsid, no? Meron siyang single-stranded RNA, transmission, no, fecal oral, disease, hepatitis, ayan. Similar daw kay Hepa A, sila naman dalawa nga, no, Hepa A and Hepa E, fecal oral, okay? Diagnosis is serology, treatment is supportive lang. So ibig sabihin nun, bibigyan lang natin ng treatment para sa pagkahilo, pagsusuka, yan. No? Wala naman tayong ibang puwedeng maibigay na gamot. So, ang importante lang is to avoid contact with, people na merong gano'ng infection, okay? So, there are several types na pwede nating makuha. Okay, so meron tayo nung fulminant hepatitis, which is caused by the genotype 1, and it's commonly observed in people who are pregnant, in women who are pregnant. Okay? And then we have the resolving hepatitis. Ito na yung papunta ka na sa healing or recovery. And then we have chronic hepatitis, which is usually caused by genotype 3, no? Very commonly observed in patients who has undergone transplantation, HIV patients, or yung mga hematological patients nagpa-blood transfuse, nagpa-bone marrow transplantation, ayan. So unsay pwede buhaton ani gani sa ilaha pag mga transplant patients, 'di ba, reduction in immunosuppression. Kasi nga itong mga pasyente na 'to, 'di ba, after transplantation or after bone marrow transplantation, binibigyan ng, immunosuppressant para hindi nga mag-react yung immune system natin, 'di ba? Pero in the process of doing that, 'no, agoy manakay ang uban pang mga virus sama ani nila 'no. Oh, so para hindi magrabihan ang pasyente, we reduce immunosuppression. So control ng konti sa pagbigay ng immunosuppressant 'no, or puwede naman nating bigyan ng antiviral treatment 'no, usually yung ating, pegylated interferon or ribavirin monotherapy. Again, depende yun kung kakayanin ng transplant patient. So, pwede naman siyang isa sa mga options, okay? Pero yung pinakamadali is to reduce immunosuppression. And then we have the extrahepatic manifestations like neurological symptoms, no? Kidney injury, pancreatitis, which is most commonly caused by the genotype 1, no? And other hematological disorders. So again, patients na may mga ganitong conditions, they could be given antiviral therapy. Okay, so your HEV is again the most commonly transmitted type of hepatitis via fecal oral route. No, this is mostly acquired from contaminated water and food, no, na hindi naluto properly. Replication only occurs in the liver. Incubation period may go from 28 to 40 days. So medyo dugay-dugay, no? Uh, so fecal oral, pwede rin naman ang vertical transmission. So mother to child, no? Or what else? Zoonotic infection, breastfeeding pwede rin. Okay? So si fulminant hepatitis is a known complication. Okay. So, meron ding mga reactivation. Yan. So, ayan, yung 4 na genotypes natin. Okay? So, we have 4 genotypes for Hepa E. So, si genotype 1, diba? Pabalik-balik naman. Genotype 1 is commonly found in Africa and Asia. Tapos si genotype 2 is found in Mexico and West Africa. Genotype 3 sa mga developed countries. So, hindi tayo kasama dyan. And genotype 4 are those found in China, Taiwan, and Japan. Kasi pwede tayo maapil no? Transmission route for genotype 1, waterborne. Fecal oral, person to person. For genotype 2, same. For genotype 3 and 4, foodborne. Mostly foodborne. Groups at high risk for infection for genotype 1, young adults. Genotype 2, young adults din. For genotype 3, usually older adults, those greater than 40 years of age, usually males, and those that are immune compromised. And genotype 4, young adults. No? O young adults, kamujud na siya. Bakit ba lipat ng lipat to? Ayan. So, nakita nyo, ang groups at high risk for Hepa E, young adults, jud. Kaya kanimo itong mga medyo, ano sila, no? Tawag niyan, medyo adventurous sa mga pagkain. Ingat-ingat naman. O, baka parati kayo dun sa ano, sa nakatayo sa labas. Mga kwek-kwek at kung ano-ano pa. So ingat kay kamo ang common groups of people na high risk for infection ng tatlong genotypes talaga yan, 1, 2, and 4. Okay? And then we have zoonotic transmission. Pwede siya for genotypes 3 and 4. Chronic infection, common in genotypes 3. Okay? And then the occurrence of outbreak, common sa genotype 1. Okay? Africa and Asia. Okay? And then si genotype 2, pwede pero smaller scale ng outbreak. So those are the different genotypes ng hepatitis E virus. Okay? So when the signs and symptoms occur, no, they're similar to the signs and symptoms of acute viral hepatitis and liver injury like fever, fatigue, nalang jud ang fatigue. No? So kung masakit gid ang liver, maluya ang pasyente, mawawala ng gana, suka, lipong-lipong, no, abdominal pain of course, and jaundice. Okay? So laboratory diagnosis and identification, again, no, detection of antibody against HEV or HEV RNA, you can do that. You can perform or determine liver function tests. Okay, so usually increased levels of serum bilirubin, AST, ALT during the time of disease onset. Okay, and of course, for confirmatory test, pwede namang mag-nucleic acid testing. Okay? So treatment, Hepa-E usually resolves on its own without treatment. No? So there's no specific antiviral therapy for acute hepatitis E. Patients that are typically advised to ano lang, rest, the usual, no? Adequate nutrition, fluids, dili maggara-gara og alcohol kay di ba yayay ang liver, so no alcohol. Okay? And of course, if you need to take any medicines, no, or treat anything outside your current condition, magpaalam muna sa doktor. Okay? Siya yung magbibigay ng safe na treatment, no, with your condition in mind. Okay? What else? Of course, patients who develop fulminant liver failure would need liver transplantation. Okay? So prevention and control, good sanitation, and the availability of clean drinking water, boiling, chlorination of water. This usually inactivates HEV. Okay? Of course, avoid raw pork or venison because this will reduce the risk of HEV. Okay? So wala naman tayong FDA-approved vaccine. Okay? Except sa China. Okay? Nung 2012, nakadevelop sila nung recombinant vaccine na aprubahan sa China. Okay? So sila dito na. Sa US wala rin naman. Okay? So this table serves as a summary, no, nung limang hepatitis virus na na-discuss natin. So you can take a picture of this table and then you use that to review. Okay? So, nandito yung virus, yung family, the type of nucleic acid present, transmission, incubation, type of infection caused, and kung meron or walang vaccine. Okay? So, that's all. Thank you for listening, guys. Review kay mag-quiz ta, of course. No?